Alright, I didn't show my face. I'm actually playing the actual theme song of Selective Quest, the book, in the background. It's late at night. I'm going to check the time real quick. Hold on. It's a little after midnight, June 15th. My book actually releases in about 11 days on BarnesandNoble.com. It's with Apple, iPod, everything. So it's an ebook format. In fact, the original book, this is it here. That's what you'll find on all those pages. I've gotten a lot of hits on my profile. People want to know my story. But I need you to understand something. First of all, let me turn this music down just a little bit. So I have the theme song of the actual book in the background. And some of my followers, some that have emailed me, seen me on Facebook, and have sent direct emails, actually showed a picture of this once, and they wanted to know what the heck it was, and I'm going to explain that. First off, if you know, this is story number 1 for Selective Quest, the actual beginning, on ebook. It was actually self-published, so I did probably about 500 copies, sold every last one of them, so it was great, and that was back in 2007. That was the original. This is an archive video that I'm actually shooting right now. What I mean by archive, I'm just actually showing proof of not only the originality of this particular book, but to show proof that it actually came from a trading card game that I developed first. So here we are 2 minutes into this video, and I'm glad you're still with me, but I want to explain something. Back in 2007, I actually came up with a trading card game, and I was invited to 4Kids Entertainment in New York City. So I got serious with it, and I put this together so I had my presentation correct and ready. And as you can see on there, I know I got a little bit of light, but it says Harry Jackson, Selective Quest. This is actually the page of our last book, so the third book is actually going to have this full logo here. The actual second book, which is going to be the most interactive book ever, is going to look like this here. So we started out with this, second book is here, and then the final book is going to be there. But this actual particular folder here, as you can tell, I'm going to just show you some proof here. There's a little bit of light glare, so I apologize. But you can see the actual name of Selective Quest, the trading card game, used to be called Selective Quest USA. And I actually had a .net page called SelectiveQuest.net that actually talked more about the game, talked more about the book, and it was the first ever to have this particular thing known as a TLP chamber, which is total life points. So I'm just going to briefly run through these pages here and show you proof that this was actually a trading card game first, and it was amazing. I mean, I've had hundreds of players. Most of my friends still play it. I slowly was piecing this together because I wanted to make sure that when I got this out there, it was done right. So here's full definition of all the cards, from the universal cards. There's a salt stone, iron stone, type stones, barricade stone, a harvest stone, black opal stone, bloodstone, and then it talks on all the different universal cards and the actual cards themselves. They talk about petals, builder cards, which are actually the attacks, and then of course the characters, which this was going to be the first trading card game where you could actually put yourself into the game and self-print out a photo of yourself and place it on our cards. Our cards are so unique. Well, my cards are so unique in many ways. Even everything from experience points, advantages, and disadvantages against the types. Now again, this was back in 2007. There's actual gems that are in the story itself. There's a group of light quester gems. There's 5 of those. And then there's 5 dark quester gems that are actually trading cards that you're looking for because they give you the most power and life points. The opal stones are the most valuable. They're most common, so they're not really the most valuable, but that's actually where the petal comes from, is the opal stone. And the Bloodstone is almost like a universal card in the trading card game. But if you can see here, each one of the cards, the gems, for example, this is a Dark Emerald card, or a Dark Emerald gem. So it's good for certain types of petals. So these are the forest types. I'm going to tell you the elements. The elements. It's forest, fire, water or ice, feather, and then there's lightning, prehistoric, and mystic, which actually should be on here. So there's more than 8 types of different petals, but really it's the main 5 gems, or the main 5 elements that actually control them all. And it goes into more detail. In fact, I did something even was more unique than anybody else has ever had out there before. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. But this is actually an experience level. So if you're playing in the Selective Quest actual book itself, the game, you're actually able to play as one player against the entire story. You can actually have 2 or 3 friends, which I've done a couple times when I was a little younger, back in 2008. I played with about 8 or 9 friends of mine. We got together. 3 of us got into the game, into the book version, and others just battled. But you can actually battle where you're playing for your city championship, and a new player comes into the game. You got to defend your title. There's a lot of great things that happen. I just need to retype this, but this is the original book from 2007 that I wrote. And if you see there, it says stages number 1 through 7A right there. It says it in English right here: Selective Quest Story Mode. Play alone, play against yourself, your friends, or play to win. And if you notice, like I said before, that's 1 through 7A. This little notebook here shows stage 7B, so this was more or less a continuation. And I showed some of the battles that actually took place based on the story mode. There's a few pages here, but I'm not going to get into it too much. But I'm just now really ready to put this book together, this piece. It's only going to take a few days to type it all up and put the artwork on it. But just for my fans, I'm giving everybody an opportunity to see what I've been up to, what I have done in the past, and what I'm looking to do very soon here. In fact, like I said before, I showed the experience level, how many life points you actually gain, if you win, if you lose. I mean, it's just pretty good. I mean, I've gotten a lot of people talking about this, saying, "Wow, it's got to come out to the public, and it's got to come out soon." And I know there's players from like Magic the Gathering. There's all kinds of groups out there. There's different games, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I'm ready to step up and challenge everyone. I want to give them an opportunity to have the actual best game out there that hasn't even been out there yet. Now, this is an old address of an office that I was working in at the time, my old phone number. I'm showing actual proof here from 2007 of the original. In fact, this is the original invoice of purchasing the self-published Selective Quest. Sorry about the video there. But this is an actual invoice. It was the original. It talks about all the different ways of play. It's just a lot of work that I put in a time period of my life where we dealt with so many floods, and I just wasn't sure what to do. You know, what was going to be the next step. And some people ask, well, what did you do before any of that? And back in 2003, I was the one that created the 2, 3, and 4 player chessboard game known as Chess Empire. You can Google that. It was the first ever chess variant to ever have United States Chess Federation as an endorsement. So I still feel proud about that. I have the original letter. Actually, if you can see there, you see in print it says 4 Kids Entertainment. Back in 2007, they used to do the cartoons for Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, all of it. It was all Saturday morning cartoons. And I wanted this particular game to actually be converted to a cartoon and a trading card game and this and that. And then I thought to myself, why not make it real? You know, why not have real characters, real people as the faces of these characters, real animals as the faces of these petnos, and really have fun? And Mr. Khan at the time was the guy that owned 4 Kids Entertainment in New York City. And as proof, I've got something else here I want to show everybody. So I'm going to do this quickly. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you remember, MapQuest was the original. If you ever needed directions or anything online, you went to MapQuest. Now you can go to Google Maps. Back then there was MySpace, all kinds of great things, that were started. And if you see that, it shows my old address there, 26 Bigelow Street. That was on the east side of Binghamton. How long it took to get there, all the directions. There's a coffee stain there. I mean, this is proof. I'm just showing the original proof here. And there's 4Kids Entertainment in New York City on 1414 Avenue of the Americas. So I drove there in my patent attorney's wife's car at the time, back in 2007. And it was a great experience sitting with them. They actually wanted me to, they got in contact with Wizards of the Coast. And that's when I kind of got a little nervous, because Wizards of the Coast was the biggest card trading company ever for the distributor out there. And I just got a little nervous, especially as a trading card game. So I kind of backed out of that, and I just put it all on an archive and try to get the rest of my family life straight. That's what was going on then. There was a lot. In fact, I have original. This is original. Look at the yellow. I mean, I don't know if you can even find these at the store still today, but this is the original types of petnos that I had. Again, forest. There was feather, forest. That's spelled incorrectly. It's Forest instead of forest. But anyway, it showed you the different value on each card, what type of animal that was actually used. I mean, the list goes on. I mean, it's just, in this particular game, there's hundreds and hundreds of different animals that are used. They all have different power. Most important is your builder cards that actually show the attacks. I mean, it was pretty good. I believe it. And, a lot of my friends recently got back in contact with me and said, "Hey, get it out there. What are you waiting for?" So I'm going after it. But I'm showing you guys some archived knowledge here. No one could ever say that, I didn't do it first. These speak for themselves. I mean, this is more than 8 years old here. These are all originals. One other thing I want to show everybody. This was the Selective Quest stat sheet that you kept when you played the Selective Quest story mode game. And that's from this book here. So you actually used, as you can see there, it says Selective Quest stat sheet. It had your Quester name, the Quester Alliance, your hometown, where you were from, the state, the age of the Quester, the ID number of the Quester, the Petno name, your original Petno that you drew from the deck, and the type. Then it also showed the species. So this was the type of animal, etc., etc. It talked about the actual weight of the animal, the occupation. So that was just in case you were an older person, you can claim, what you did for work, etc., etc. Your drawn starting experience points. This was major. I give a breakdown in the next video of exactly how these trading cards come together. I was the first one to actually put them together the way they are. But just to show you an example, again, there's more details as to the battle sheet itself, and then boom, you went right into the story and you started battling. I mean, you had someone, watch you throw the dice, so you weren't cheating. You drew your hand, you found your animal, your petno, your builder type, everything. This is this is old stuff. 2007. So these were originals. So this sheet would actually be about maybe 15 to 20 pages deep, and then you can buy these separately, so that you can continue to play on, and you keep your experience points. In this particular game, it was set up that if you lost, you had to surrender one of your buried or dead cards that were actually used in your summons. So your opponent, whether they were dark or light, could grab one of your cards and keep it for themselves. So it's part of losing. And what I mean by dark or light, if you can tell, light is spelled totally differently throughout the book. Light is basically the type of heart that you actually carry, which determines what kind of petno would actually defend for everything that you do. So if you were dark, you had more tendencies of doing harm to others. Maybe it just wasn't a good thing. But there's tons of people in the world that are on both sides of the fence, and that's one of the reasons why you see a line in the original book here. And a lot of people say that's the gray area, but some of us are on the dark side, some are on the light. And it's about the two coming together. And if you read the story out June 26, 2015, you'll understand. And if you don't, you'll get it by the second book, that the petnos are actually what happens if your conscience came to life. What type of animal they would be, how they would defend you, how it's important for you to keep a good relationship and continue to nurture your conscience and let your conscience be your guide. So finally, I want to go into one last thing here. And again, this is the reprint of this particular game book that was here before I type it all out and get it all set up nicely and have great pictures and make it look like it's something that people would want to purchase and enjoy. I wanted to put it on the level of a Magic the Gathering. There's so many different games out there. I can't. I'm short-minded right now, but you know who you are, and I'm looking to challenge you. So finally, I wanted to go into the actual dice itself, and we're going to get into this a little bit more when we actually see the sample decks. And I'm going to show you right here real quick, a quick peek. There's a dark deck. There's a light. Okay, we're back. So you use the small dice here. These are the really, really small guys. You can see how small based on my hand here. But you have dark, and then you also have light, which is, there's 4 other different variations of light small dice. But these are actually the attack dice. They actually tell you what type of attack on your builder card you're going to actually use based on the 2 dots or 3 dots or 6 dots, etc. These dice here are your actual attack dice based on being a pupil level, which is the beginner level of Selective Quest, the trading card game. So you have dark dice, and then you also have a variation of light dice that you can use. So if I'm a light quester, I would have my light dice, and I'd also have my light attack dice. And that's what I use to roll when I roll my hand. But it's different with Selective Quest because you not only use your big attack dice, but you also take your opponent's dark dice and you roll it all together on your attack. So for example, I'm going to explain what all that means right there. But that's my attack, and based on that, you would lose so many points to your particular hand, etc. And then the next player would go. And that next player would use his or her small dice, grab my dice and his or hers, and they would roll their next hand. So I'm going to show you, based on the trading cards, what those numbers would actually mean. But it's amazing. It's great how it all works. These cards are one of a kind, and I'm working with a local publisher to produce the trading card actual game known as Selective Quest, based on the Selective Quest book, which actually was the trading card game first. That became a 3-book series. So the next video, I'm going to show everybody for the first time how you play Selective Quest, the trading card game. And we'll talk about everything. So buckle up. I hope you guys all join me on the 26th of June and purchase for $2 and change the Selective Quest series, starting with book 1. The adventure begins, and I hope we all enjoy it together. So thank you very much for your time. I took about almost 20 minutes, and I'm glad you're here with me. But get ready for a brand new trading card game that you've never ever experienced in your life, and I believe it's going to be better than all of them. So I hope that, and that's no disrespect to any of them, but I'd love to have you.